Well, hello and welcome back to Rio Centro, Pavilion 3. Table 2 is our focus. And it's the women's singles class 11 matchup in Group B, which will round off the morning's play. I say morning, of course it is afternoon in Rio. And this is Group B. There is 6 athletes altogether in the competition, 2 groups, and the top 2 from each of the groups will go through into the semi-finals. This is a Group B encounter between Krystyna, SIEMIENIECKA and Maki Japan of Japan. Could be a tight one to call, this one as well. They've met 6 times before and they've each won 3 matches apiece. There is Krystyna SIEMIENIECKA. She is the favourite for this one, being ranked 3rd in the world, taking on Ito, who is ranked 7th in the world, but she is a former world number 3 herself. So has a fair amount of experience and talent to her name. She was part of the team that won the World Championships in the Class 11 at the World Championships in 2014 in Beijing. Won gold there. She finished 5th in the singles herself. She's had an okay 2016, won bronze at the Slovenia Open. We'll be hoping to maybe spring a surprise against the POL today. Ito's aged 32. SIEMIENIECKA aged 37. And is a former gold medalist at the Paralympics, won the Athens Paralympic gold in 2004, so it's been around for a long time. Finished 4th though in 2012 in London, so we're hoping to at least go one better this time around. Has had an exceptional 2016 though, won the China Open and also won the Slovakia Open and picked up a bronze at the Slovenia Open, so should be feeling pretty confident coming into this one, the POL. In terms of Poland's record at the para table tennis, they've won 6 golds in total. Japan have won 3, but all of them coming in the men's event, so if Ito was to go all the way, she would make history as a female para table tennis player. Incidentally, this one is a Class 11 matchup. Just to illustrate what Class 11 means, it is for players with an intellectual disability. Of course, that only came into the Olympics with players with intellectual impairment in 1980. Meanwhile, para-table tennis has been part of the Paralympics since its origin, since its beginnings back in 1960. So it was first brought about as a game, as an after-dinner game to go with the likes of tennis. Now it is a huge global sport. It's the 3rd largest Paralympic sport in terms of athlete numbers and is practiced in more than 100 countries. So it is fierce competition to not only try and win a medal, but just to get here in the first place. Umpires, incidentally, for this one is Alan Leslie Hopkins of Australia and Ina Vikart of the Netherlands. Incidentally, this match initially was scheduled to be a men's Class 7 matchup between Maxim Nikolenko and Joachim Volmert, but that one has been moved to later on in the day. So this one should be absolutely fascinating because of the fact that they've met 6 times and won 3 apiece, but it was SIEMIENIECKA who won the last 2 meetings, both of them coming in 2016. Although the first of those 2 meetings did go to 5 games. That was at the Slovenia Open, and then they met again at the Slovenia Open, where it was a straight games win for the 37-year-old POL. So she is the favourite for this one, no doubt about that, but of course there's a lot of pressure on both of these players. It's a big occasion being at the Paralympics. This is their first match in Group B. In terms of SIEMIENIECKA's background, she began playing in 1996 at the age of 16, so was quite late to the game. But since then has done considerably well. Made her international debut in 1998, though, so took to the sport like a duck to water. It was at the World Championships in Paris in France. She says her best moment, and most memorable moment, was winning the bronze medal at the 2014 PTT World Championships in Beijing, which is a little surprising when you consider that she won gold in Athens in 2004. It was a fair way ago. And her hero is Polish table tennis player Natalia Patika. Describes her best influence as her coach, who is Jacek Lisiak. She's been with her since 1996, so knows her exceptionally well, been with her since she was 16. It's an interesting facet with the table tennis, because coaches have such a big role to play. Of course, players can call a timeout, and they also get to talk to them at the end of every game. They can really form close bonds with their coaches. As for Ito, well, she made her international debut in 1999 for Japan. She took the sport up as a 13-year-old in middle school in her homeland, and the reason was one of her teachers suggested the sport to her, so she hasn't really looked back since then. The ambition is to win a medal at the Rio Paralympic Games. She has a decent chance of doing so. As I say, a former world number 3. Has the experience of winning gold in the team World Championships in Beijing just a couple of years ago. And that was her best memory, being involved in the sport. Her hero, though, is Japanese table tennis player Sayaka Hirano and Ishikawa Kazumi. And her biggest influence, she says, is her mum. And there is her coach, Hiroto Hosono. She's an office worker away from the sport. Whereas SIEMIENIECKA is an athlete full-time, which has enabled her to really stay up and amongst it, one of the very best in the world. And we're feeling she has a decent chance of winning gold, particularly with the form that she's had this year. As I say, winning gold in both the China Open and the Slovakia Open. Hasn't had too many defeats in 2016. So time is called. Umpires are ready, players are ready, and we are ready for this Group B encounter between Krystyna, SIEMIENIECKA and Maki Ito. Good start by the Japanese player. SIEMIENIECKA just apologising there. That one just clipping the top of the net. SIEMIENIECKA, who tends to prefer slice to topspin. You can see just chiseling the ball over the net time and time again. It worked on that occasion. Makes it tough for the opponent to attack when you use backspin rather than topspin. Service fault though there, and SIEMIENIECKA moves into a 4-2 lead in this first game, and now makes it 5-2. First time we've seen the topspin used by the POL. And then again brushing up the back of the ball. Well, as you can see there, little chuckle from the 37-year-old. Went to try and play the forehand, and knows the backhand would have been the sensible option. Good play by Ito, though, just to expose that side. Just overcooking that one. Plenty of Japanese support here. Of course, Japan and Brazil have strong links. Lots of Japanese live in Brazil. So wherever they go, they are pretty well supported at these games, and plenty of support for Ito. Just nicking the top of the net, and Ito gets back to within 2 points. Why Ito is stamping your foot on the ground. It's because in table tennis you really look at where the spin is, and so if you can't hear the contact of the ball, you don't know quite how much spin is on the ball. Balls are so smooth that it means that it's all about generating spin on it. Of course, sound is key to that. It's been a tight opening game, but it's 3 game points to the world number 3. And she takes it on the first, so good start for SIEMIENIECKA. Wins the opening game by 11 points to 7. There you go, confirmation of that. 11 points to 7. Game taking 4 minutes. She was varying her play up nicely, drawing the errors from Ito on the whole. The other player in this group, incidentally, is Mui Wu Nji. Doesn't play her first match until tomorrow, though, where this group will be concluded then. So it'll be SIEMIENIECKA who'll get this second game underway. That's a massive forehand. Right onto the line, and plenty of speed and spin on the ball too. Nice aggression shown by Ito, who seems to be going down the middle and maybe just getting her opponent to think about what side to use, the forehand or the backhand. That's another fine forehand from Ito. There's plenty of noise going on around the tables here at the Rio Centro Pavilion 3. 8 other tables in action. Oh, it's found the corner. And she shaped up to hit the backhand, hit it with plenty of loop and height. Didn't look like it was going to come down in time. Being a little overly aggressive there, Ito. SIEMIENIECKA forcing the error. He's done a good job of just turning this game around. SIEMIENIECKA was trailing early. Set the point up to go big, but the backspin just wasn't really read well enough by SIEMIENIECKA. The forehand goes into the net, so Ito fighting back. It's a great rally. Didn't do too much wrong there, Ito, at all. Just the depth of the shot from the world number 3, too hot to handle. points coming thick and fast. And again, a little mountain to climb here for Ito. Oh, that was really well played. Had to be delicate with it. Didn't have a lot of margin for error there, but just guides that forehand into the corner. And with it, it gives her 4 game points. Well, it was a similar game to what we saw in the first game. It's the same result, though. It is SIEMIENIECKA who has been able to take the second game, this time by 11 points to 6. Look at that accuracy. About an inch away from being out, but right into the corner. I do feel at the moment just a little bit stronger than her opponent. There's not too much in it, but just eased away in both of the games when it's got a little tight. I'm sure her coach, Lisiak, is making sure she stays focused and doesn't take her foot off the gas, because Ito's still a dangerous player. Remember, a former world number 3 herself. Ito getting this third game underway and taking the first point. Oh, it's an extraordinary point. Hence the wry smile from SIEMIENIECKA. Just hit the side netting here, sprung off it and yet found its way onto the table. Ito doing a good job just to keep her concentration there. And this has been a really positive start then by the 32-year-old, and SIEMIENIECKA under a bit of pressure in the third game. And there's the variation from slice to topspin. Makes it so difficult for an opponent to get a rhythm off. So 3 points in a row for the POL. Covers back from love 3 down to get things level again. And winds up big on the forehand side. And when she has wound up big and found the table, then Ito has struggled really to get that ball back into play. Overcooks that one. It is a little hit and miss. A bit of a roller coaster ride this third game, but once more, SIEMIENIECKA gets her nose in front. Just a few too many errors coming from Ito, and there's another. SIEMIENIECKA clearly targeting the backhand of her Japanese opponent. But well, expecting it to go to the backhand once more. There's the inside in from SIEMIENIECKA here. Really catching Ito by surprise. That's a lovely shot up the line. And she's running away with this now. One-way traffic for the POL. 2 points away. Make that just the 1 point away. Another super forehand. Draws the error from Ito. And it is 5 match points for SIEMIENIECKA. And there it is. Delightful performance from Krystyna. SIEMIENIECKA wins 11-7, 11-6, 11-5 in 13 minutes and secures her first win of Group B.